You've been doing buy-to-lets completely wrong this whole time. And the reason for that is mainly the people I talk to that are involved in buy-to-let property, I say, why are you interested in buy-to-let? What got you thinking about investing in buy-to-let? And often the reason is they want to build up some income from property. And I get that, and that makes sense only when you are making a really healthy income from your investment. Most people that have buy-to-let property are making a tiny profit each month. They're servicing a mortgage, they might have the maintenance costs, they've got management costs. When they look at net, what they're actually putting in their pocket each and every year from buy-to-let is very little. And that was not what their initial intention and the expectation was. The other major mistake I see people making when they're getting into buy-to-let is they underestimate how long they think the property might take to renovate and get ready to go to the market, and then they overestimate what they think that final value might be, or even the rental income that might be able to achieve. But I think what's more important is really starting with the basic fundamentals, the 3 ways to make money from property. One is that you actually make money from cash flow. Each month you make cash flow. And when we're talking about traditional buy-to-let, that doesn't make great cash flow. Then the second way, you're cashing out, i.e. you're renovating a property or you're building something, you're selling it, and you're taking a chunk of cash. You've got a liquidity event. And again, buy-to-let doesn't really give you that, not in the short term. Then the third one is you buy property for equity. This is profit that you're going to build up over a long period of time. It's not the kind of profit you can go and buy your grocery on each week at Tesco's because they won't accept equity. The equity is what you're building in, which is increasing value over time. When we talk about buy-to-let, that's where the real wealth is. But many people that get into buy-to-let don't get into it for that reason. They're looking for cash flow. And buy-to-let doesn't necessarily give you cash flow. It gives you long-term equity growth and capital over time. So the key here is really understand why you're getting into the type of investment that you're getting into. There's so many different ways to make money from property. Buy-to-let is only the one way. When you talk to the vast majority of people interested in property, they talk about buy-to-let is their strategy. That's what they're looking to do. It's only when you start understanding there's many other ways, you get yourself educated, and there's so many different strategies that exist that you can profit from, that you realize there's one that's probably going to be much more suited to you, and it's probably not the one you think. And it certainly isn't going to be buy-to-let if what you're looking for is cash flow to sack the boss and be able to get that financial freedom that everybody craves for. There is going to be another strategy that's going to enable you to do that. How can you make buy-to-let work in 2023? Well, the old model, the way we would buy a house, rent it to a family, make a small monthly profit, over the long term make some capital growth, that model is really dead now because it's really difficult to hold onto the property during the time where you're waiting for the capital growth, because that's where the real big payday is. The reason for that is because your monthly profit is so low. But if there's a way to fix that, then it would mean you can still acquire the property and hold it for the long term. And one of the best ways to do that is running for short stay, like serviced accommodation, the Airbnb model, because that way you can bring in much more income each and every month in order to be able to say service any debt, hold on to that property for the longer term. And then, as I said, the real wealth in property is the long-term capital growth. And generally people talk about property values double like every 10 years. It isn't necessarily that scientific, whether it's 7 years, whether it's 15 years. The long-term trend is growth in property values. And if you go back to historic data, you look at the graphs, yes, property prices will go up, they'll go down, but the general trend is the price will just continue to rise up in this way. And we have that belief, which is why we get involved in property in the first place. If we're buying property today, in 20 years time, 30 years time, it's very likely it's going to be worth significantly more than it is today. Now, if I look at the property maybe my father first purchased when he came to the country in the 60s, or when I was at university, when we're looking at what my landlord purchased his property for, what rent we were paying them, those figures are tiny, absolutely tiny in comparison to what those values are today. And if we'd all known at that time, actually, we just need to buy 5 houses each and job done, you'll probably be super wealthy today. The reality is, firstly, it was not easy to purchase. And secondly, nobody really knew that. Well, now we do believe property prices continue to go up, but it's still not easy to buy. However, if there's a way to purchase where you can have a really good cash flow and long-term capital growth, then this is the way to do it. Hey, if you're enjoying these short videos that we're doing called Saj Dailies, then make sure you also check out our longer form content that we have on the channel. There's probably about 300 videos that are on the channel that we've uploaded over the last few years, and there's a lot more content uploaded regularly. And if you're enjoying it, then make sure you click on that like button. Also subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, leave me a comment. Let me know what it is about these videos you're particularly enjoying and particularly liking. And once you've done that, make sure you click on this video, and I'll see you over here next.